Hello, my name is Adam Crook. I'm 42 years old. I live in Stoughton, Wisconsin, US of A. Just southeast of Madison, Wisconsin. I live by myself. I'm single. I am basically going through day to day struggles, just like any other person in this country of ours. And I am very frustrated of the world around me right at the moment. And I'm trying my best just to keep my daily sanity going. But I do want to talk about a couple of things. And this is kind of going to be sound like me, not sound political, but I want to kind of talk about it. I mean, I am a YouTuber and also a Twitch streamer. I play mostly my um, uh, activities online are basically gaming, but I also do some other things on the side as well. So um, I do have a few things I want to mention, and this is kind of embarrassing to say because not many people respect my kind of stature. But recently, of course, I know what's going on in the world today. I am kind of, well, let me say, day after day, I'm very frustrated because I have to fight virtually every day just to keep my status quo. And I also have mental issues. I also have physical issues concerning my leg, and also I'm pre-diabetic, so I'm having to struggle with that on a daily basis, and it's very, very tough to actually um, maintain a line of thought sometimes. I get easily distracted, and I apologize in advance of what I'm about to say. But I do this video because I feel underappreciated. I feel disgusted with how I am being treated and subjugated in this world, just because of my appearance, my B, my values, C, of course, how people treat others, especially in my family over the years, because my family too have had disabilities in the over the course of many years. My dad passed away 7 years ago after a long life battle with cancer and diabetes, and among other things, um, my mom and my brother has disabilities as well. And being the only person in the family have had his own battles to deal with, I also too have many, many other issues that I've actually had to put aside for most of my life because a I've had to go through college. I've had to work part full time. I've actually had to now that my dad passed away. I've actually had to take care of myself. In most regards, I don't know how to take care of myself some days, and it's very frustrating with the way that this world is going right now here in 2025. It is kind of like I don't want to be judgmental towards people about who I am, what I am, and try to not to give into this sin that this world, this not just this country, but this world is going through right now. Even though I am a retail associate these days, it's kind of difficult to look people in the eye and know that you're going to be treated fairly in life. Well, I don't know if I am being treated fairly in life these days. I look at other people and I sometimes feel like I'm being looked down upon. I feel like the two associate's degrees that I have put myself through in accounting and IT, I feel like they have all gone to waste because one, accounting is a very judgmental field because you never have any independent thought about how to steer a company or be accountable for a company. And in this day and age, being accountable for anything it's almost like a luxury. And with my good character, it's almost like I have to lie just to make the employer satisfied with him or herself or themselves or whatnot. And in IT, well, around the IT with my IT degree, let's just say it was at a time when my dad's health was declined, and I never really got anything in IT. So I work in retail right now. I have worked in retail for most of my life. And the worst thing to be is being judged in life. I have spent through in my entire life being looked down upon in a way because I feel so isolated from the cultures of America. It's like I can't relate to any of the conservative or the liberal sides because one, I'm just my own person. I like to think of my own person, of my values. I like to take the best of each and try to make some good of and make some sense of this chaotic world of mine. But at the same time, I don't like being called a loser just because of my physical and mental problems, because there are some politicians, and I think I know a good many of them, would normally call me a loser in life just because I am just different. I cannot have nothing to bring about to the table of this world of ours because they're just so full of crap that they are so engulfed with. And please forgive me for my speech. I don't know how to public speak. But I want to make this point clear, and given that this important anniversary is coming up, I don't want to say I'm a radical person of any sort of nature, but I too am a patriot. But I also love not just a patriot of this world. I'm also a decent person who likes to who lives to the Bible commandment of love thy neighbor. And it's almost like neither the Christian or the progressive side, even though I have voted Democratic all my life, welcomes the idea of actually loving thy neighbor. And I always believe that we all should live and love each other as individuals and respect each other. But even for those Christian values, and I grew up in the South. I grew up with the Bible Belt South. Even with my values, I'm a woke person, and I've been demonized wholeheartedly for it. And that's driven me into this madness that I am a worthless piece of shit that there is in this world. I like to think I'm even worth something. I like to think I am actually, capable of contributing something to this world. But no one respects my own sense of right and wrong these days, because it's like I have to either submit to a kingly view or be demonized demonized as a decent person. I understand we all have our own ideals of I understand we all have our ideals of our patriotism, and I like to think that I'm a patriot of sorts, but there's just no place for me in this world anymore. I mean, I feel like I am a worthless human being nowadays. I mean, I'm not exactly a conservative anymore, because the Christian values I was taught growing up in North Carolina. Growing up as a Christian in North Carolina these days, I felt like people have made fun of that. But the values that I was taught just seemed like it wouldn't gel right for others. I never really fit in with the progressive movement either because, well, I like to try and keep faith in the values I believe in. But I've always voted for them because I've always believed in fairness and mutual respect for all people. Even though I just wish there was days that I could be more expressive and open about who I am and what I believe in. But there is an anniversary coming up that's very important. And it's one that happened on April 19th, 1775. I don't like violence. I never have really appreciated it. But what we see from our capital today, our nation's capital today, isn't patriotism. It's not what you call patriotism anymore. It's not the patriotism I grew up in my childhood days. Even though I was quiet, shy, and probably too withdrawn in my own, sense of self, I felt that we should always stand up for what we believe in. But nowadays, people think I'm a loser. And I'm here to tell you this, everyone, and this is very, this is very difficult to say. But a loser is basically what started this revolution. It takes an act of courage to stand up. It takes real courage to stand up for one's beliefs. And America was founded when someone stood up and said no to the tyranny actions of one. And as much as I don't like what happened, or don't like violence, it only took one person, one loser, who had no choice, who felt like his back is against the wall, to fire that first shot in the Battle of Lexington. One person was so scared of life that he felt so alone and let me just put it, he felt like he had nothing to lose because the King of England was a very oppressive tyrant, putting all these taxes on, making the life of the colonists a living hell. And you don't ever want to put people with their backs against the wall, because that's exactly what happened. Some loser, whether be it, I'm not sure what background he came from, decided he had enough. Someone said, I cannot stand this anger, this frustration, this what's to say, this feeling of helplessness. Because, to be honest, there are days I feel like I'm helpless. I feel helpless when I'm being forced day after day, having my back against the wall. And you don't want to mess with people with their backs against the wall. And my dad, I think, was a little too kind in life because he always really did not want to question, for the sake of community or whatnot, he didn't want to cause a disturbance, or he didn't want to fight back. He felt like the way of peace is the way, and I believe like my dad. My dad was an EMS. He was a EMT. He had always served the public in what he did. But in the later years of his life, people always discredited him because of his disability. Our neighbors always made fun of him because our neighbors were so small-minded. And that carries weight into my mind, that how cruel, even for my own fellow countrymen, can be sometimes. And America is falling into that curse. And I don't know how else to explain it, that people are going to stand up when they feel like they're not going to be, when there's nothing more to lose anymore. I've done that many times just recently in my life because when I had an ex-girlfriend that always came to me at the place I worked. Her presence enough was threatening to me because she was very, well, let's just say very offensive in what she was saying about men in some ways. And it wasn't exactly a pleasant feeling when you're feeling like you're in a store and you cannot question a customer because the customer is always right, but you just cannot stand up to them because the customer always feels like they're always morally superior than the person working at the checkout lane or behind the counter or whatnot. And being placed in that situation when you love someone so much, but their attitude is almost like insufferable sometimes. It took a lot of courage for me to stand up and actually tell that former girlfriend of mine, get out of my life. Stop trying to look down on me with your comments of hatred, because I know she herself was actually having problems with her men a long time ago. But she would not. Her words got into my head. Her words were killing me from the inside because I knew deep inside I was a good person. But she questioned my soul in a way because she didn't appreciate who I was. And this was a Trump supporter. Believe me. And then one day, one of her ex-boyfriends came into the store and threatened to kill me. Because her ex-boyfriend decided to take matters into his own hands for whatever redneck reason there was. She thought he had to defend her woman. But what for what? She was actually ticking me off deep inside of my soul and heart. And she would not go away. And I've had enough. It took me a while just to stand up to her and say, enough of this. I would have forgiven her if it weren't for that. But I stopped forgiving from that moment on. I stopped forgiving people in general over the last 7 years since that happened. Yes, when you stand up for yourself, you stop forgiving. But it was killing me inside. And just as much as that some things in this country are killing me inside, there are many things in this world we've got to stop. As much as I don't like, extremism in our country, there are just some things we need to actually take a hard look at and stop demonizing, especially when it comes to one's own character. And yes, I do have issues with both liberals and conservatives on this. But unfortunately, a president of ours has taken it to the next level. Because he doesn't care about what happens to people that he disagrees with. He doesn't care. And the people who support him doesn't care either. I've already stopped forgiving him. I've already stopped forgiving the people who support him. And not like I don't want a revolution in this country. I just want him to stop and go away. I wish people like him would go away. And get out of my life forever. So I can actually live a life again. I want things to go back to the way they were. But it's almost like, it's almost too good to be asked, because I don't ever want to be having to start a revolution, because, boy, have I stood up for things in my lifetime before. And many times I've lost a job in life. I've been fired because I actually had to stand up for myself. I've lost people I love dearly because I had to stand up for myself. And as much as I wish my ex-girlfriend no ill will, I wish she would apologize. But she won't apologize. Our president will never apologize for what harm he's bringing me and also my country in general. And everybody else, more or less. I don't want this country to go through any more hardship. I don't want to go through any more hardship. However, it is what it is. And I don't ever want to have to feel that my back is against the wall for any reason anymore. And I ask everyone as a plea, is there any hope in this country left? And the answer is there probably isn't. Because there are so many people who either want me to shut up or fight them. Either way, I lose. I don't want to fight people. And it's very frustrating. But all I can do is just keep hoping that things will change. Not just because I'm a Democratic voter, because I want my family to actually respect me because they're all Republicans. I just want to have my life back. I actually want to have a decent life before I die. And I just wish things will settle down. I wish to be forgiven, even though it might be impossible to ask for such thing. I just want people to stop humiliating me for their own petty reasons. Stop looking down on me, too. What I'm saying probably don't make a lot of sense to any of you because I've tried I can't really put an effective speech together. Only because that I just can't. My human interactions are just so dismal right now. I want to be forgiven, but at the same time, I want to actually have my life back before I perish. But unfortunately, there are people out there who believe I have to go through all sorts of hardship, and you only get one life. And if it were up to me, that American flag up there, I would have liked to hang the Canadian flag back there as well. Oh, hell, I had a dream one time. This was one of my dreams I've had whenever I was a little kid, is to be a flag collector. Create a flag of all 50 states, all territories of the U.S., and also the flags of the world, and build a little park inside, probably like Iowa or something like that, and have all the nations stand as one. But I guess I'm too woke for that because it will never happen. But I always want to believe that, there are possibilities, I guess, still. But no one likes wokeism, apparently. I'm just too woke. I've been judged as an irrelevant human being for hoping for such things will ever happen. Nor will I have any generations because having kids right now, I don't know if I'll ever have kids. I like to leave something behind, but as I go into disability, which is a possibility, that dream may be dead right now. I'm also having to file for bankruptcy for the first time in my life, and I don't even want to do that, but I have to do it just to stay afloat. And that's... Some people say, well, that's what you get for having such high ideals. I don't know. If I'm not allowed to have any ideals, I may as well not be human. I may as well just not exist anymore. But there are people who want to take that, try to change that woke mind of mine. If that's my sin, then so be it. Let it be my sin, because no one gives a damn about it. I don't know what to do. I'll do the best I can to make what life I have right now. But if there's any hope out there, I'll take it. But it bothers me. It just bothers me. I can't share it without this feeling of oppression. And I feel one day, and someone is going to snap. All because they could not have a way out. And submitting to God, I've I would like to go back to church. Believe me, I want to go back to church. But I don't want to go to a church that's just going to demonize me, demoralize me, take everything from me, take everything who I am, and make me fear God and make him some sort of tyrant out of me. That's the one thing I've never understood in life, how God-fearing has to be so good when it makes me more afraid of it. Actually going back to church in a way. May not make a lot of sense and I may sound like an idiot or hypocritical, but, that's just how my mind is right now. That's just who I am. Because I know the comments I'm going to get in this video. Yay, you say it how it is, pal Adam. Or, you're still such a loser. It don't matter anymore. We could have been, for those who probably don't even love me for who I am, don't even give two shits about who I am. And if there is no point in actually trying to make nice with people who just can't celebrate life together as an American, as a partner with the world, but I guess I'm just too disillusioned for some people to even care. I just don't want to have to find out that my back is against the wall. Because when my back is against the wall, I get a little bit alone. Not exactly a little bit alone, but plenty alone. Because that's exactly what happened in April 19th, 1775. Somebody was alone. Someone snapped that day. I don't want to be that person who's going to snap. Have we had enough revolutions already? But it appears that we may have to have another one.